The United Soccer League takes us to one of the most highly anticipated debuts in recent memory. It's the first edition of the Silver State Cup. Tonight, Las Vegas and Reno meet for the very first time at Cashman Field in front of a rowdy crowd in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Las Vegas Lights FC and Reno 1868 FC. I'm Brendan Gulick alongside former U.S. Women's National Team player Lori Lindsay. A look at this rivalry that is certainly going to be one talked about for a long time. There was so much build up in the offseason, and tonight we finally get to see it in action.
Yeah, the Silver State Cup, first meeting between these two teams. I think it's going to be an exciting one. Both teams play up and down style play. They want to attack, they want to get after it. So I think we're in for an exciting game tonight. Yeah, Silver State Cup, eventually the name winner, but of course you see some of the other finalists as well. The natural geography creates this rivalry, and it's just going to be so much fun to watch these two teams. Let's start with Reno as the road team tonight. Boy, they played in a blizzard at home against the reigning Western Conference champion. Came away with a 4-3 loss, but certainly picked up where they left off last year. 3 goals in the first game of the season. Yeah, it's not surprising that they were the leading goal scorers in the league last year, getting 3 goals again in this blizzard-like weather. So we'll see if they can replicate what they did last year for tonight's game and get their first win. Slightly different look to Reno this year, but still plenty of threats. On the Las Vegas Life side, well, they're coming off of a win, a 3-2 win, in fact, at Fresno. They play a hectic, chaotic, fast, aggressive, energetic style of soccer, and looking forward to seeing that tonight. Yeah, 3-4-3. It's a pretty risky style of soccer, like you said, and we'll see if they are able to get some goals on the board, but also keep Reno off the score sheet. Fresno was certainly left a little frustrated. We'll see how it goes tonight. Might be interesting to see if we can get a fast start from one of these two teams. You are looking tonight at probably the premier event in Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas Lights and Reno 1868. Starting lineups and kickoff when we return. Good job. Fairly cool and extremely breezy night in Las Vegas. Those flags aren't just waving based on human hands. Got a 15-mile-an-hour steady breeze tonight in Las Vegas. Temperature 62 degrees, so it's cool, but of course a packed house for the inaugural home opener in Las Vegas Lights history. Let's take a look at the starting 11 brought to you by
Zappos presenting Lights FC jersey at zappos.com/soccer. First, Reno 1868. They're a little bit over the board here on defense. Boy, offensively, Antoine Opino is terrific.
Yeah, I think we keep an eye on him. Scores great in the attack, scores a lot of goals, and I think he'll look to be kind of a playmaker, but also get in to finish some goals himself.
You look at the other side of things, Las Vegas, they're chaotic. They kind of are all over the place. Last week they just played a hectic style of soccer, and it was very much in your face. I suppose from a fan's perspective, it was a ton of fun.
Right, and Matty Thomas getting the first goal, quickest goal in expansion history, so look for him to see if he can replicate that again. And also Kobayashi, I think we talked about how it's a frantic style play with this Vegas team, and so Kobayashi will be the glue in there that links the attack and the defense together.
Samuel Ochoa played in the Western Conference last year. Of course, he was a big piece for Sacramento. And so he's not necessarily a new face for Reno, and definitely going to have to mark him up at the top. Again, that starting lineup, the starting 11, brought to you by Zappos, presenting the Lights FC jersey at zappos.com/soccer. So Lights FC getting ready for tonight's game. I believe we're wrapping up the national anthem. All right, rousing round of applause. And now we can get to some soccer out of respect. We tried to lay out for that. By the way, you get a look there at our officials tonight. Victor Rivas, the head referee. Jeremy Davis, Matt Houston, and Adam Sanchez, his officials tonight. Now let's take a look at your Findlay Toyota keys to the game. Findlay Toyota is an official partner of Las Vegas Lights FC. Keys to the game. Well, for Las Vegas, nothing to lose. They play a pretty crazy style. We've hit on that a couple of times, but look, they're playing in front of their home fan base here for the first time tonight. I know they're going out and they're going to try to be excited early. Yeah,
they were talking to us earlier in the week about how they want the fan experience. The key to this game is to have the fans behind them, let them enjoy it. They want to be the party every Saturday night from 8 to 10 p.m.
How about on the Reno side? Obviously, last year, 75 goals was almost unthinkable. As good as they were offensively, Dane Kelly was a big part of that. That's for sure. He's no longer part of the equation. He's playing on the Major League Soccer level now, and so for Reno, you've got to wonder how they can maybe adjust this year. And they got off to a great start with 3 goals, albeit a losing effort.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. They have, like you said, Dane Kelly, moving on to DC United, and I think it'll be interesting. That is the big question. Will they be able to replicate what they did last year with the players coming in and out, moving up to the MLS ranks, then coming down? So just a lot of players in and out, and how can they find some continuity throughout the season and in tonight's game in particular?
Lights FC will be in the dark uniforms, and you'll see Reno 1868 FC in white. Everybody getting settled in on, again, what is a fairly chilly but breezy night in Las Vegas. And there is Victor Rivas, our head official. I think for Reno, given the fact they played in snow last week, they're probably just happy to have a reasonably warm temperature tonight. But sometimes that's what you deal with when you have games early in the season in March and even in some climates in April. Start of a 2-game road trip for 1868 FC. They'll be at RGV on Wednesday. They've got a very early game, 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning down at HEB Park. One of the guys as you kind of got ready for the game this week, one of the guys you thought maybe could be an impact player for Reno is no longer with them, at least at this point. Chris Wehan, a huge piece for them last year, played in the opening game of the year and got called up to the MLS side.
Yeah, he was leading assist for Reno last year, right? So he set up play, got the team moving. I think he was a big part of all those goals that they scored. So he'll be missed tonight, but it'll be interesting to see, again, who can step up, who can lead this team and see if they can, again, replicate what they did last year.
Off we go, the home opener for Las Vegas Lights FC against Reno 1868. We get an immediate header coming flying out of the box from Ricardo Ferrigno. I beg your pardon, that was from JT Marcinkowski as Las Vegas Lights attacks right to left here in the opening half. You don't typically see a goalkeeper come out to the 18 with a header, but nevertheless, some entertainment. We get an early chance, and Marcinkowski pulls it down. Let's take a look at the UMC Health Report. The only guy for Las Vegas tonight that is not suiting up. We got a right knee injury for Juan Jose Calderon. Again, that is the UMC Health Report here tonight, University Medical Center. Ball laid over the top. You can tell just by looking at the flags in the corner how the wind is affecting the ball early on, blowing from right to left, really at their back. It's interesting to see how that'll play an effect throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, we weren't lying about Las Vegas wanting to play an attacking style, direct style play. And I think Marcinkowski's already had the ball more than most players on the field.
We're going to see how Marcinkowski tries to get out. You can see the ball is literally wobbling without even being touched. This one tapped back toward the middle. Las Vegas trying to clear it away. Brenton Griffiths was pressing up a bit. Christian Torres there. This left-footed shot cracked pretty low and quick and picked up. Ferrigno was the man on the spot. Las Vegas Lights, led by a father-son combination, Chalice and his 30-year-old son, Isidro. Chalice now the technical director, while Isidro pulls in the official managerial duties. Had a chance to speak with Isidro this week, and I asked him what it was like to be working with his father. And he said, you know, he taught us, he taught not just him, but his family a lot. And he said the thing that stood out to him most was that things are just never good enough for Chalice. And he said it's a constant work in progress to always get better. And he said that's one thing, just in terms of building a work ethic, that always stood out to him. And it's one thing he's really grown to appreciate about his dad.
Yeah, it sounds like that's how he leads and coaches this team as well. And he said they have 19 players that are able to play and any given week, any given game, and so they want to see who's going to fight out for the position, and they're going to look to see who can make the most impact each game. So we could see a different lineup going forward each game.
Well, sometimes there's just a feeling out process and all of that. The feeling out process so far in this game has been played at hyperspeed, though. Everybody is trying to connect quickly, short and long passes. This one played for Cavillo. Actually, check that. That's for Reno. That's Brent Richards, who is pressing well ahead. He draws the foul. You can see for both teams the jerseys waving in a steady breeze. Look at the ball. That's unbelievable. So Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com or receive free shipping on orders over $50. Kiffey into the middle of the box. Got loose and then rolled over the touchline. Even the trees beyond the stadium look like they're about to blow over, so maybe the 15-mile-an-hour winds that are steady, that probably doesn't count the gusts. Lights FC on the attack. Matt Thomas kind of got caught in a tough spot. Gaia Ben pulls it away.
Yeah, whenever you have wind like this too, or inclement weather, it's always like, can we go with our game plan? Can we stick with it? Like we've mentioned, Las Vegas likes to play direct, but are they going to be able to play direct in the air? Or are they going to need to go quickly on the ground, look to play into a forward's feet, get it back, and then go from there?
Brian Brown. Great creativity, centers it. It was right on the doorstep. Still alive for Reno. A near early goal for Reno, 1868. Opening several minutes of the game have been rather chaotic. Both teams of similar style. Not to say they don't pride themselves on defense, but offense is a little more important. Brown controls it, taps it back. Richards wants to play in. And taps it back. The other thing about this particular venue specifically is that it's one of the narrower fields that these two teams are going to play on throughout the course of the season. And so when you shrink the size of the field and you play at this speed, it makes things seem even faster.
Oh, absolutely. And we always say that makes it, you got to get your wingers, you got to get your outside players on the sidelines. They've got to be painting their shoes with the chalk. So yeah, it's going to be important for them to stretch the field, get as wide as possible as well to create as much space as they can on this narrow field.
Hometown kid Matt Thomas, who scored the opening goal in franchise history last week. Good pressure there. Whistle stops things for a moment. Everybody getting lined up. I'm not sure if it's a corner or a throw incoming. They were more concerned with attending to the injury for a moment. As Shalise stands with his hands in his pockets. The injured Reno player is defender Brenton Griffiths. Good news is all his teeth are still there. So he's feeling around a bit. All kidding aside, Griffiths an important piece. Returns to Reno this year. He only scored a couple goals last year, but a Jamaican-born player who really solidified the middle of their defense. It is a throw-in for Las Vegas. Christian Torres. As far as he can heave it. And a whistle. No, that's not really what Brian Brown had in mind. He was tackled maybe harder than he had wanted to. All right, we mentioned both Shalise and Isidro. Ian Russell, obviously leading the way for Reno 1868. And he is hoping that maybe his team this year, let's get a good look at Ian Russell, hoping that perhaps his team this year can get over that hump. Last year, for a long time, they were one of the favorites in the Western Conference. And unfortunately, the end of the season just didn't quite kind of manifest the way that Reno had hoped. A mistake here. Richards comes back to help rectify things. Mazowski plays it ahead. Brown runs it down, centers with the left foot. Miguel Garduño got his right leg on it. Another throw incoming. James Kiffey just kind of hanging out and waiting for a moment. One of the best defenders in the USL. Kiffey is just kind of holding the ball because Daigo Kobayashi. Apparently he's having a left leg issue. Kind of grabbed at his hamstring, maybe the outside of his knee, and you could tell that the athletic training staff working on him there. So
Well,
a couple guys having trouble tonight.
Yeah, you hate to see this so early in the game, only 10 minutes in. Kobayashi, who we talked about in the pregame, glued to the team, links the attack, links to the defense. If he's already down the first 10 minutes, this isn't the start that Las Vegas would hope for.
Either way, how does it maybe disrupt the rhythm and the flow of getting into that, you know, the way you hope in the beginning of a game when, for whatever reason, you know, players for either team are kind of struggling to stay at 100%.
Well, I like to say midfielders are the key to the teams, right?
I'm stunned.
So if you have somebody like Kobayashi, who is so important in terms of linking and playing, and like, as we mentioned, getting the attack started, but also helping defensively, then yeah, it's tough. I mean, you want somebody in there that's kind of lead, and if he's coming out already, it's always tough.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look promising at the moment as Alex Mendoza, midfielder from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, is getting ready to check in, and Daigo Kobayashi coming out, 12th minute. So Kobayashi, we'll see how they miss his presence. Play resumes. Ball is loose in the box. Quickly dove on by Ricardo Ferrigno. Ferrigno sends it away. Great energy and atmosphere here tonight in Las Vegas's home opener at Cashman Field. His service ball played right into the middle. Looking for Matt Thomas. Couldn't connect with him. Look at this counterattack. And a takedown has Reno up in arms. The foul apparently occurred outside the box. But Joe Huiki looks like he's going to draw a caution. And he does. Yellow card to Joel Huiki. Here's another look at the foul.
Well, this is a great ball played in on the ground. This is what we talked about with Vegas. They like to put numbers forward, and they're susceptible to be caught in transition. And we saw that here, and then they're forced to take down the player right at the top of the box.
So Brian Brown and James Kiffey talk about how they want to execute this just outside the top of the 18. Las Vegas builds their wall. Ferrigno stares down. Can Reno put in the first goal of the night? Low on the ground. And knocked away. Sammy Ochoa and Carlos Alvarez both there to help clear things out of danger. Looking for some help from Opano instead. Look how that ball just fluttered in the air. It actually blew backwards. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're seeing, besides the first few minutes of the game when Las Vegas had a few good chances, we're seeing that they're having a difficult time getting out of their defensive half. I think a lot of that has to do with the wind. And right now, Reno's just all over them. Keeping possession and getting it wide.
Perhaps for Las Vegas, the saving grace is they'll flip sides at halftime as they do the wave at Cashman Field. Griffiths and Richards try and move it toward the sideline. Touch back over by Cavillo and Opano. Richards throws it 4 miles into the wind. The ball rolls out of bounds. Since we're embellishing, they also played in 3 feet of snow last week. Although where it was piled up, it actually kind of looked that way. Did you ever play in any games like that where you could hardly see where the ball was being passed because the snow was so strong?
We actually had a legendary U.S. Women's National Team game. I think it was actually Alex Morgan's very first cap, and we made snow angels. It was at Rio Tinto in Utah, and home of the new Utah Royale. So Royal, sorry. And so, yeah, for some reason, I don't know if the heaters didn't work underneath the field, but anyway, it was coming down. By the time the game started, we were playing Mexico, and it was just a disaster. And we scored one late goal in the second half, and we all made snow angels, and it made ESPN Sports Center.
I might consider that with a coat on, but probably not in a short sleeve shirt after a game.
If you're near a computer at home, Google it. It's pretty funny.
Reno and Las Vegas in the very first ever Silver State Cup. A bend ahead. Centering cross, looking for Opano. Great defense, still alive, and it's sent over the top of the bar. Boy, what a chance there for Reno.
Yeah, Reno's been, this last 6 or so minutes have been all over them since the Kobayashi substitution. It's been all Reno. It's going to be important for them to capitalize with the wind in this first half, knowing that Las Vegas is going to get their chance at going with the win in the second half.
Kobayashi came out in the 12th minute with an apparent left leg injury, replaced by Alex Mendoza in the midfield for Las Vegas. Ian Russell looking over at the Las Vegas side, throws his arms out to his sides in frustration. Another yellow card has been issued. It is on Miguel Garduño. The only saving grace there for Las Vegas is that it's not on Huiki, who's already got one. Another look here at the foul that caused the booking. All right, Kiffey into the box. Still has a chance. They're going to throw in. You know, Ricardo Ferreño's got a lot to organize right now with his defense just trying to hold off this incredibly persistent Reno 1868 attack as the ball goes over the top of the gigantic wall behind the net. Another look here again at the foul that caused that card.
Yeah, both players just go up. Looks like he catches him maybe with his knee in his chest area. Doesn't look like there was any malicious intent there.
But nevertheless, apparently in the eyes of Victor Rivas, cause for caution. Wow, nearly an own goal as Marco Cesar Jaime nearly put it in. Thankfully, Ferreño was Johnny on the spot as another ball rolled onto the field, windblown. Feels like they're playing in a wind tunnel. We are 20 minutes into the game, and it has not put a goal on the board, but nevertheless been kind of wild. Throw in for Christian Torres. Portugal tackled in the midfield. Garduño passed it to no one in particular, and so now it causes a real attempt here, real chance for Reno. Opano ripped a shot off his own teammate. Osofsky got in the way of a rocket from Opano.
think it's going to be important for Vegas. They don't have, they don't have much of the ball right now. It's obviously the wind is playing a major factor in the style of play that they can play. And so once they get the ball, they need to settle down, go with numbers, try to connect a few passes if they can, and then see if they can go. I know that's not their absolute style of play because they want to attack, and be a direct. But with this win, it's going to be difficult to do that. And so they might need to mix it up, or they're going to need to mix it up.
I know it was just off your screen a moment ago, but Reno in net came all the way outside the box to make that play. That's not wildly uncommon for him. He is regarded as almost reckless at times, but his team did get a victory last week. And of course, tonight would mean that much more in the opening game of the Silver State Cup. Touched into space, recovered. Torres past Opano. Poked away from behind, nice recovery. Great crowd on hand. They're certainly into it this entire first half. Everybody waiting for the first goal of the night. And of course, they're hoping that it's for Las Vegas Lights. No score in the 22nd minute. This is the inaugural Season Lights season tickets, and it includes a team jersey. Details at lightsfc.com/tickets. Neither team has really had sustained possession for particularly long. They've all been kind of long passes or flicked far up the field. Brian Brown tries to get creative and back touch it. Back to Marcinkowski. Opano. Huge, important piece for this Reno team last year. Double-figure goals scored. Half a dozen assists as well.
He's one player that they talked about pregame to us or earlier this week about keeping an eye on. He can be dangerous. He can wreak havoc on other teams, and they knew tonight it would be no different.
Brian Brown's been on his toes early, and he gets caught there offside, but he and Russell arguing it's because he was held up. The flag went up. Well, our opening first half here has included yellow cards on 2 of the 3 Lights FC defenders, and some really big opportunities from Reno. Hear exclusive stories directly from the USL's players in USLsoccer.com's From the Pitch, with well-written and video content that provides unfiltered access and a first-person look into the professional game and players' everyday lives. That's From the Pitch on USLsoccer.com. And now an opportunity for Las Vegas Lights FC on a corner kick coming. It looked like Julian Portugal would take it. Instead, it gets thrust to the backside and through everyone as Alex Mendoza tried to run it down unsuccessfully. I have to admit, neither Shalise nor Ian Russell have had particularly happy body language tonight. From both perspectives, where do you think they need improvement?
Well, I think, you know, the weather is causing an issue, right? The wind's causing an issue. Again, we've talked about how both teams want to play an attacking style. It's a narrow field. It's difficult for them to keep any sort of possession right now. So just settling down. I think one of the teams needs to put their foot on the ball, connect a few passes, and then see if they can attack from there.
Homegrown kid Matt Thomas helps win the ball in the corner. Ochoa upset. Alvarez voicing his opinion along with Matt Thomas. Julian Portugal. '26th minute, second corner kick for Lights FC. Loose in the middle, it's followed up and it's in! Las Vegas strikes first! Alex Mendoza, 1-0.
Well, this is a great ball into the mix, and you can't ask for a better finish. Connects perfectly low and hard into the corner, and can't ask for a better start for Las Vegas. They haven't seen much of the ball these past 20 minutes or so, but to connect on this corner kick, it's a great start for them.
One-time touch for Alex Mendoza, and Las Vegas Lights FC out to a 1-0 lead. Lights goals are sponsored by Plaza Hotel and Casino in downtown Las Vegas.
Turned out to be a pretty good sub.
I would say so. He's hardly on the field for half the amount of time they played so far. Finds his way into the scoring column. Well done, Alex Mendoza. Brian Brown wants to answer. It's followed up and scored. Danny Mazovsky. And we're back level at 1.
Well, we knew this was going to be a high-scoring game, or had the potential to at least. Reno all over them from the beginning with the win at their backs, and here he is from the kickoff, getting a low, hard strike on goal, and then Mazovsky putting it away. Nothing you can do with that with the goalkeeper.
Brian Brown showed no fear in taking a crack at it from a long way out and decided, you know what? Didn't like the way that one went in, so let's see if we can thrust one over ourselves, and Mazovsky was there for the rebound. Just as soon as Las Vegas thought they had some momentum, the record 75 goals scored from Reno last year seems to be carrying over. They've already scored 4 goals in less than a game and a half. A terrific answer by 1868. But a free kick now on the Las Vegas side. Alvarez hangs it up in the wind. The ball blew way offline. Griffith swings and misses. It's played back up, lofted high in the air. Look at the way the ball blew. Mendoza would have probably set that over the touchline. Instead, it's loose in front. It's a guessing game. Pulled out of the air by Marcinkowski. And he throws it across midfield. This is as wild a game as you'll ever see.
Yeah, this is why Las Vegas can't be happy with Reno scoring that goal right after they score their goal, because they're going against this wind. Las Vegas haven't seen much of the ball. They're fortunate to get that goal off the corner kick, and then right away, Vegas gets the goal, and then Reno comes back and scores. And so all this hard work, we're seeing the wind play a major factor. It's going to be difficult for Vegas to get anything going.
Meanwhile, a yellow card's been issued. It looks like it's on Portugal. I mean, it's just uncontrollable how windy it is. Arsenkowski's probably looking down at his foot, wondering what kind of rocket fuel he's got.
Well, I'm thinking Reno's thinking that they've gotten the raw end of the deal these last 2 weeks, playing in a blizzard last weekend, essentially a windstorm this weekend.
A good takeaway. And a dangerous play. The referee quickly tries to separate things. Marco Cesar Jaime drawing a stern finger wagging. Meanwhile, the ball just continues to move in the wind, untouched. I have a feeling watching this game, we're going to see a pretty heated rivalry over the years. Maybe this is a good example.
Yeah, this is just good, friendly competition. You know, both teams wanting to win, get after it. All in good fun.
If you can't have fun, do something else, right? These two teams certainly know how to do that. 33rd minute of a chaotic first half. Played into the box, headed away. Ian Russell just trying to figure out how to make this all work. Hey, be sure to come early to every Lights game for the Zappos tailgate. Beer garden, food trucks, live music starting at 5:30, leading up to every home game for Las Vegas Lights. Openo and Cavillo in the middle, turn it over. Lights can't make anything of it. And now it's a foot race the other direction. Mazovsky touches to the middle 2 times. Oh, he wanted Brown, and Brown couldn't believe the ball never came to him. If you joined us late, I'm Brendan Gulick alongside former U.S. women's national teamer Lori Lindsay. The major storyline early in the game for Las Vegas, Daigo Kobayashi left in the 12th minute with an apparent left leg injury. The touch goes into the middle, unscathed. And his replacement, I should say Kobayashi's replacement, Alex Mendoza, 15 minutes later, scores the opening goal of the game. And about 45 seconds later, Danny Mazovsky, off a ricochet on a Brian Brown shot, equalized us at 1 apiece. Another yellow card issue. That would be our 5th yellow card of the first half, if you're keeping count with us at home. It appeared to be on Danny Mazovsky. Thus far, all of the yellow cards have been given on the Las Vegas side. Garduño, Huiki, Portugal, and Mendoza. And that's the first one given on the Reno side. Everyone seems to be a little confused. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll continue on this half of the field. Trying to get the fans into it. Marcelo Alatorre will throw in. Curling back toward the top of the 18. And back over to Alatorre. The fans wanted a foul call. He didn't get it.
Well, besides the wind playing such a major factor, this is definitely what we expected. Back and forth soccer, high attacking, both teams getting chances. I'm actually impressed. Las Vegas is getting more chances with this win than I thought they would.
You're right, it almost feels like if you can play well going into the wind, maybe you have the upper hand. Las Vegas will have the wind at their back in the second half. Near side throw in. Cesar Jaime throws backwards. Ricardo Ferreño is in a bad spot, trying to chip the keeper off target. He could thank Mother Nature for that. Ferreño with a gutsy play, and he gets away with it.
I don't think I've seen that risky of a play before. I've never really seen a goalkeeper set play like that, coming out of his box, setting play. But I mean, this is the risk versus reward that we were talking about early on.
It's even riskier in this first half when anything he kicks down the field is going to hang up in that breeze. He almost paid for it dearly. Alvarez has it knocked away. 1868 on the push. So much for that. Well, around 8 minutes left in the first half. Chipped over the top. There's some high ball pressure. Sammy Ochoa forces a turnover in some regard. Mendoza feeds left side to Torres. Beautiful creativity into the middle, and the header is wide. Love the idea.
Yeah. Vegas is starting to get a little bit more of a play. We talked about finding the ball. I know they like to go forward quickly, but if they can string a few passes forward, then look to go. And this is what they do. They get the ball wide, great ball in. Just love to get that one back, I'm sure. Just a little bit off target.
Well, so far, I think our atmosphere is living up to the hype as the place to be in Las Vegas from 8 to 10 p.m. Everybody's having fun, and everyone is into the game. When it's this action-packed, it's easy as a fan to stay involved. And a corner kick. Nicely done by Torres. Gives his team a chance to potentially take the lead here late in the first half. Alvarez in Portugal. It's Alvarez. Just over the top of Matt Thomas's head. Reno on the move. Have you got what it takes to beat the experts on USLsoccer.com? Show off your knowledge of the league by picking the right results of the USL's matchups each week of the season. Again, USLsoccer.com. Beat the experts. It's kind of like March Madness in my mind, right? How many times did you take a look at your March Madness pool and think about all the upsets? And the crazy upset tonight, the Ramblers from Loyola Chicago are Final Four bound. How about that? I am quite sure they're having fun in Vegas watching some March Madness college basketball games this week.
I stopped watching when UVA lost in the first round.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but your Cavaliers didn't exactly have a good tournament.
No.
History for all the wrong
yeah.
reasons. They put UMBC on the map. Cleared away. Garduño has to play a little bit more cautiously after receiving his yellow card in the 18th minute. By the way, we can confirm for you that Mazovsky was the one carded for Reno, and he received his in the 34th. Alex Mendoza has been awfully busy in the midfield since he came on in the 12th minute.
He's been fantastic. He's
He really
linking
has.
play, scored the great goal.
He's been the real spark plug his team needed for sure. And quite frankly, he had big shoes to fill because Kobayashi, you had referenced a couple times, is really the guy that makes everything go offensively.
Yeah, it's always good to see when you see a player step in, having to come off the bench early, but get right into the game, especially in these circumstances with the weather, get some touches, start linking play for his team, and then get a goal. He's soaring with confidence right now.
Lots of fouls on both sides throughout the course of the night. Nearly 20 in the first 43 minutes. Tough takedown, and that's going to draw another booking. This time it's Brent Richards in the book. Did you see that as dangerous?
Oh, absolutely. This is a good ball in, good touch by Matty Thomas. Just draws in the defender, has nothing to do but take him down. It's a good goal scoring opportunity.
It's about as good as Las Vegas has had all first half. First goal came off of a deflection and then a second shot. And they get one off a set piece here with Portugal initiating. He curves it right into Marcinkowski's waiting arms. And Ferreño backs up to pull it in. Final minute pre-stoppage time here in the first half. Reno measuring, trying to figure out if they have a last late push. Looks like 4 minutes of stoppage time is going to be added momentarily. There it is officially. Stoppage time brought to you by La Bonita, official grocery store of Las Vegas Lights. So 4 additional minutes minimum here in the first half. Now, if you're Las Vegas and you've got the wind at your back in the second half, it's going to be a major adjustment for all the extra you've had to put on your passes in a forward manner in the first half. You're going to have to take that much off, if not more, the way the wind is blowing here in Las Vegas tonight.
Yeah, and at the same time, you're going into halftime thinking, yes, we have the wind at our backs. This is our style of play, right? We like to go forward, we like to attack, and we like to take some risks. So the wind at your back, it's the chance to do it. Time to do it.
Openo down for the count.
Looked like that one hurt.
Holy smokes. Another look at it. Don't want to shield your eyes, though.
Oh, yeah, boot in between his legs. I mean, it's what we've been seeing all game in terms of rough play, quite a few fouls, but unfortunate to get the boot between the legs at the end there.
That's not good for anybody. Not good for anybody. Antoine Openo. We've talked about how important he is for this Reno side. Fact is, they need him because they need his veteran leadership. Good to see him back up on his feet. First edition of the Silver State Cup. And I think it's been a pretty memorable one so far. Well, play is going to continue. Openo slowly getting back to his feet. Lofted into the backside. And the chance for Brian Brown and Reno, or I should say Brenton Griffiths and Reno, quickly falls by the wayside. Las Vegas with a late first half push. A takedown in the box, no call. Sammy Ochoa beside himself.
Yeah, I actually thought it was a foul on Ochoa, getting a little shove in the back.
I tend to agree with you. He kind of extended that left arm. But neither player was penalized. And the halftime whistle. Well, that was an unforgettable first half. Las Vegas and Reno playing to a 1-1 draw so far, but more drama than you'll have in some games back to the first 45.
I think we expected there to be some drama and some back and forth, but this was a little bit, it's a little wilder than we expected.
Isidro and Chalice trying to figure out what kind of adjustments they need to make going to the second half. Of course, they're going to have the wind at their back. That's going to be the thing we most pay attention to. Halftime coming your way next. We'll kind of recap the first half for you. Lots of stats analysis and highlights coming up shortly. It's halftime in Las Vegas at their home opener in franchise history, 1-1 with Reno. Wild first half between Las Vegas Lights FC and Reno 1868 FC in the very first edition of the Silver State Cup. Fans have been in it, on their feet, and mostly yelling at the field, both joyously and occasionally in anger if they didn't like the call. It's been a first half with basically every emotion you could check off on the list. Well, one of the traditions that Las Vegas Lights FC is starting is a really cool thing. It's called Shirts Off Our Back. With more on that, we go to this pre-produced piece for you.
From the very beginning, this team has been for Las Vegas, by Las Vegas, of Las Vegas. We had the fans help pick the name, help design the logo. We became the first team to guarantee local players. We have these wonderful hyper-local sponsors like Zappos and Finley and the Plaza and the Laborers. And we wanted to continue to do that, right? We wanted to continue to give back to the fans and have the fans interact with our players. And so we are announcing today that after every game at Cashman Field, win or lose, our players will stay on the field and sign autographs to the fans, and then they will actually take off their game-worn jersey off their back, shirts off their back, and they will give it to the fans. So we're becoming the first professional sports team to guarantee that at every home game.
It's incredible. I've never seen a team do it, obviously, and it's just one more step to show how much Las Vegas Lights cares about the community and really wants to ingrain ourselves in not just a soccer culture, but it's a family. It's the whole Las Vegas community family. The grassroots, the young age, you just want to get them touching the ball, learning the basic fundamentals, passing, dribbling, controlling, and then we had a bit of fun playing a game, tournament style, and just enjoying our time with all the kids.
Players used to be 5 years old and kicking the ball around, so I think the players are probably the best teachers in the fact they've literally walked in those footsteps, and it's so great to see kids just having fun with soccer, right? That it gets so competitive so quickly. To be out here with a bunch of 4, 5, 6-year-olds, to just see the purity of the game, if that makes sense, and to see have this aspirational vision of what it's like for this sport that they're just learning about and they're learning to love, and to see these older guys aspirational of where they can reach to and see those guys come back. I think every adult out there knows that when they were a kid and they met someone that they looked up to, what that meant to them and what a memory was, and I think we made those memories tonight.
What a cool tradition, and certainly something that the younger fans, I think, are really going to enjoy here in Las Vegas. The ability to interact with players like that creates memories that spans generations and lasts a lifetime. Well done by the front office staff in Las Vegas. All right, so it's 1-1 at halftime. We'll have more coverage of what happened in the first half after this word from our sponsors.
All right, we're being joined today by Jake Edwards, president of the USL. Just getting ready to kick off an exciting 2018 season. Jake, thank you very much for joining us today.
Great, my pleasure.
Looking at some of the players, we've had a number of internationals now that call the USL home. What does that mean to you and the rest of the folks at the league that we're seeing so many of these world-class players now apply their trade here with the USL?
It's important. It's a testament to the growth of the league, the exposure the league's getting around the world now, that players in a number of countries are now seeing the USL regularly, appreciating the quality of what's going on here, and want to make this the league they want to play in, whether that's Didier Drogba, Joe Cole, and players of that caliber and quality who have played at the very highest level. We've had a significant amount of players this season that have played in the Gold Cup, that have played in the World Cup qualifiers, that are playing full senior international, as well as a nice mix of some of the next best players coming out of this country, you know, players on the under-20 national teams. And it's an exciting mix on the field, and I think it just speaks to the commitment and the investment that the owners are making into their clubs, the quality of coaches we now have in our league and their ability to recruit players from all around the world. And I think it's just the quality of the competition certainly attracting better and better players.
You touched on coaching a little bit with the number of call-ups that we've seen as well from the players here at the USL playing for their national teams. What does that speak to in terms of the quality of coaching that we've seen?
It's great, and it's an area of our league we take seriously and we spend a lot of time on. We have a full-time department here that just works with our coaches. It is critical that we continue to attract better coaches all the time. We've got coaches now that have coached at the MLS, that have coached in Liga MX, that have coached in some of the top leagues around the world. What that brings is an understanding of what it takes to build a professional football club and how to instill a real football culture. Make no mistake, it's a large reason why we have so many top-class players coming in the league, and it's testament to the quality of coaches. Last year we had 2 coaches go on the new Federation Pro license. Now we've got 9 coaches on the Pro license this year, and more coming next year. So those coaches are doing tremendous work at the clubs, from the first team all the way down to the youth programs in the community.
Great to check in with Jake Edwards, the president of the USL, who's in attendance tonight at the first ever home game at Cashman Field for Las Vegas Lights at halftime. It's been kind of a crazy game so far, 1-1 apiece. Let's take a look at what's coming up here next week. The schedule across the league, and as you kind of figure out which games you might be interested in, certainly these are largely on the East Coast, especially the FC Cincinnati and Indy 11 game. I think we'll have lots of eyeballs on that. RGV in Reno will play on Wednesday morning. It'll be an 8 o'clock Eastern time, 11 o'clock, I beg your pardon, 8 o'clock Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time for Reno, so a very early game on Wednesday. Obviously, this is the first year in the league for Las Vegas Lights FC, but they are not the only team that has had an expansion side coming into the USL, and the good news for them, they've had some pretty good teams to maybe follow in the footsteps of. Sacramento, in their very first year in the league, as champions. Louisville won the league last year, but they've been very good since they came on. Of course, so much about FC Cincinnati that's gone well, as they've taken the soccer world by storm, and tonight's opponent, Reno, a terrific team last year, although they did fall short of their ultimate goal. So we're getting ready for the start of the second half. A goal from Alex Mendoza for Las Vegas Lights in the 27th minute, followed quickly by a 28th minute goal from Danny Mazovsky for Reno. And we are tied at 1 apiece. Highlights, stats, and analysis on the first half when we return. Closing in on the start of the second half with a 1-1 tie here at the home opener, the very first home opener for Las Vegas Lights FC, their inaugural home match. in front of a fan base tonight in the mid-60s in the temperatures, but they are bundled up here in Nevada. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. There were many action-packed plays. That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, and it's not surprising. Back and forth game. Both teams having a ton of chances on goal. And here at the beginning, we see Reno getting a close opportunity, getting the ball wide, low, hard-driven ball across the frame of the goal. But luckily, it's cleared out by Las Vegas.
Yeah, Ricardo Ferrigno was living on the edge of a cliff, perhaps the best way to describe it in the first half. Just sort of dancing along and teetering in some challenging spots. He faced some pressure, and this was one of the better services across, but never manifested in a real good shot on goal. First goal of the night came for Las Vegas Lights.
Yeah, good ball in on the corner, knocked down, back out into less traffic, and then a great strike by Mendoza, able to just get solid laces low into the far post.
Yeah, he chooses that bottom corner. Unfortunately, Reno said, all right, well, we got about 30 seconds later, and then we'll just kind of refocus things. Ripped shot, deflected, and put back in. Danny Mazovsky off Brian Brown's shot from about 25 yards out. And Mazovsky ties things at 1 apiece. And that ended up being the only other goal of the half, but it was far from the last exciting play of the half. Reno certainly deserved to be pretty happy about that, but some consistent pressure here late.
Yeah, it's Las Vegas got quite a few opportunities with going against the wind, especially in the late half. I think they started the game well, and then later in the half were able to pick it back up, get some opportunities as well.
So, tied at 1 at halftime as you get a look at some of the first half numbers with possession fairly even. The the head referee tonight, Victor Rivas, was a busy man. He issued 6 yellow cards in the first half. It has been an exceptionally physical and chaotic night. But they're having fun, and a couple of goals scored on 13 total shots. So far, so good for Las Vegas. How about what you're looking for here at the start of the second half for both teams?
Well, I think this is going to be an interesting half for Las Vegas. As we've mentioned, they like to play a run and gun, attacking style play, and having the win at their backs is going to be key for them to be able to play balls over the top, run onto it. At the same time, I think they're going to need to be careful in terms of offering too much up in defensively and allowing Reno to stay in this game.
I'm sure you've played in games where wind has been a factor. How difficult is it to go from one half where you are screaming into the wind and you're really trying to rip just a regular pass so that it gets there, and then you start the second half and it probably takes, I would imagine, several touches to try and get back to an equilibrium.
Yeah, there's definitely an adjustment period. At the same time, I'd much rather go into the win the first half and then be able to adjust and have the win in my back in the second. So I think Vegas, or they definitely have a one-up in this situation. I wouldn't want to be Reno being able to have the win at their backs and have to go into the win this half and try to be chasing a game or tied 1-1.
Off we go, the start of the second half. As you did see right before we got rolling that Reno made a substitution. Jerry Van Evick comes off the bench, immediately gets in the action. Brian Brown just over the top of the bar. It's Antoine Opino, who left with a groin injury, unable to return.
Just when you think the wind is going to cause an issue, Reno comes right down with a good goal-scoring opportunity.
That's a pretty Reno way of going about things. They are full force, full steam ahead. Let it rip. No surprise there. Each team's made one substitution thus far. Opening minutes of the second half. Certainly appreciate you making us part of your Saturday night. We've enjoyed the game. It has been wild. I think that's the fairest way to put it. Entertainment for sure. Marcelo Alatorre ready to throw in. Tried to get it in the middle. Well, contact in the box. Yeah, they are waving on medical attention for Gaia Bend. Rodunio on the wrong end of a conversation there he doesn't like.
Oh yeah, just clips the back of his long throw in, lofted in. Just both players going for a ball, clips the back of his heel. That's always unpleasant.
Good news for Gaia Bend as he's able to get back to his feet. Trots over to the sideline for a moment. Can hear the cheers of Viva Lights from those here at Cashman Field tonight. JT Marcinkowski showing off his leg strength, even booting it into the wind. Las Vegas was on the push. Pretty well defended. Good chance in the middle. Knocked away. Didn't seem too much from Mark Anthony Gonzalez tonight, although he was involved there on that sequence. Las Vegas. Ochoa. Diving stop by Marcinkowski. Sammy Ochoa looking for his maybe team leading, or I should say perhaps go-ahead goal.
Ochoa's wide open in the box, great position, great ball, does everything correctly, knocks it down with pace, with keeper there. Marcinkowski there to collect it.
No whistle on the takedown. Looked like a good call, or I should say good no call. And so far, neither team has gotten less aggressive here in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
It seems like the wind has died down a bit as well. The ball doesn't seem as frantic in the air.
I think that benefits one side versus the other.
I think it might benefit Reno a bit if the wind dies down. So they don't have to go against the wind the second half. Las Vegas still goes with their game plan of attacking like they are now. A little bit of a run and gun style play, and then it still allows Reno to stay in the game and not have to change their game plan at all.
That's fair. You're right. Every time the play is in the corner, you can specifically at home notice the flags are hanging a little more limp. But everybody else still bundled up tonight. Temperature is in the low 60s. Other than that, it's a pleasant evening. Pretty much par for the course for March 25th here in Southern Nevada. Richards. Too much down the field. Brown touches over. Good centering pass. Gonzalez pulled off the ball. How quickly can Las Vegas counter? Well, not as quickly as Reno can recover. Play by Morrell. He's wearing the captain's armband tonight for Reno. Release looking on. Cedro also on his feet. Fans, your Southern Nevada nonprofit organization can get $5 back with every ticket purchased at lightsfc.com. Visit lightsfc.com/kickback for details. Good ball into the middle. But awkwardly off Ochoa's foot out of bounds, perhaps because it was deflected out. So Las Vegas with their first corner of the second half. Alvarez usually takes these, despite the fact that Portugal is there with him. Quickie. He got a decent look at it. Marcinkowski with a bomb of a throw up the field. That's a weapon and a half.
Yeah, as we said, that wind has definitely died down. That was not going to go that far in the first half by any means.
He
So.
threw that further than some keepers punted on the fly. That was wild. Kiffey presses ahead. And Evick working with him too. Las Vegas takes it away. Alvarez waiting for reinforcements. Chips into the middle and it's headed by Ochoa just over the bar. He's had several close calls in the first 8 minutes of this second half.
Well, you can't ask for a better ball. Defender backs off a little bit, just giving Carlos Alvarez a little bit of room to play that chipping ball into Ochoa. Great opportunity on goal. Unfortunately, can't get it to knock it down on frame.
Disappointing for Las Vegas, but you get the feeling that they are that close. As Alatorre is down.
Yeah, the first 8-9 minutes of this half have been all Las Vegas.
Yeah, with the exception of that one real quick shot from Reno right out of the gate. You're right, the 9 minutes of this half dominated by Las Vegas. Looks like Zach Drake is coming on for Las Vegas. And it's Marcelo Alatorre that comes off the field after that injury. Fans getting into it. Whistle blows things dead. USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from all around the league 24/7. Follow us at USL on Twitter. Nice deflection out of bounds. Ryan Brown gets that leg extended up in the air. Las Vegas has used 2 substitutions. Alex Mendoza came on for Daigo Kobayashi. Came on in the 12th minute, scored in the 27th. And Zach Drake just came on for Marcelo Alatorre. Of course, Jerry Van Evick in for Antoine Opano. Reno playing without Chris Wehan tonight, who was summoned once more to the Major League side at San Jose. Such a big part of this team a year ago, and factors to be an important piece when he's in Reno this year. Zach Drake takes the throw in. Headed right into the middle of the box. That is a tough spot to get out of. Ochoa got the outside of his foot on it, but with no real mustard behind it.
Well, it's a dangerous long throw from Zach Drake, almost like a corner kick. Caused a little commotion there in the box, and Reno's fortunate to get away with not another goal for Las Vegas.
Throwing back to Las Vegas. In a game where we are seeing so many balls played over the top, how does a team establish any sort of rhythm or identity when there's just not a lot of possession-based passes?
It's difficult. It's very difficult. If that's the that's the game plan of Las Vegas, wanting to put other teams under pressure. From Reno's standpoint, though, I think you need to be able to collect the ball. If it's played over the top, whether you can retreat, drop off, be able to collect the ball, and then get a few passes together and be able to possess from there. But I don't think Vegas has much intention to try to keep possession, and that's just their game plan. Look to go over the top, put the other teams under as much pressure as possible, and hope to get goals from those tactics.
Van Evek was in the area when it was knocked out of bounds. Chalice named the technical director of the team not long ago, and his son Isidro Sanchez was promoted, now officially the head coach of the team. Well, they've got a real chance here to try and take the lead. JT Marcinkowski to the rescue for Reno. You're definitely right, Lori. The wind in the second half, I'm sure it's still breezy, but downgraded from windy to breezy for sure. And it has made life much easier on Reno since halftime. Turnover in a bad spot. Ochoa. And the back heel touch didn't find him. Reno's not out of trouble yet. Alvarez with his left foot. Way too tall.
We got to give Vegas credit. They're doing a good job. And we've been talking about all game long about how they want to attack, they want to play a direct style play. But it's when they lose the ball and Reno's trying to build out of connect passes and build out of the back, they're doing a good job, Vegas is, putting pressure, making them cough up the ball, and that's where we resulted in that shot there at the end by their defensive pressure.
Teams with such supportive fan bases, I think this is the making of a fun rivalry in this league, and we'll keep our eye on for a long time to come. And such terrific local support for both organizations. Of course, Reno an expansion side last year. They've got a chance to take a lead. It's dribbled past the keeper. Ferrino came out. But his defense came right up behind him. Zach Drake, the hero. On the throw-in. Drake sends it well out of danger. In fact, he turns it into some offense for Ochoa, who takes a shot. And it was either poorly executed or just maybe not well thought out. Either way, good look here.
Yeah, great weighted ball over the top. They do a good job of connecting a few passes, draw Las Vegas out a bit, and then they're able to play a weighted pass over the top. Great defense, though. and then Zach Drake's able to come over and save the day.
I think Huiki may have kind of clipped the back of Brian Brown's foot. Brown just never hit the ball clearly and didn't have much of a chance to sneak it past Ricardo Ferreño. Still tied at 1. Goals in the 27th and 28th minutes. Drake and Alvarez, little two-man game. And a foul on Alvarez. Just over an hour in. Of course, both of these two teams with local flavor, and we've certainly made mention of the fact that, you know, for Las Vegas, they've been so committed to having local players, and as they should. The Matt Thomas story, of course, him scoring a goal, I think was terrific. But on the Reno side, you've got Danny Mazovsky, who was a great player in his college days at UNLV. Senior year at UNLV, 15 goals in 16 games. Third-team All-American, one of the best players in the Western Athletic Conference. He was the Offensive Player of the Year. So I certainly don't want to short the Reno side. I mean, on top of the fact that Las Vegas has some local flavor. Pretty cool for Masovsky to be able to play in his state as well. This one on the left foot and a diving stop by Marcinkowski. So as it was deflected out, a corner kick coming. Alvarez, low driving thread. Almost turned into Reno off to the races. Here's another look at the diving stop. Just punched it over the top
Matty
of the bar.
Thomas does a good job getting over this ball. Great strike with those laces. Unfortunately for him, great save by Marcinkowski.
All right, so another injury stoppage. This time I believe it's Cesar Jaime who is down.
And getting back to your point about some of the local players, both teams you got to give it up to really seem to be invested in their, like we said, they're local players, but the community wanting to show their fans the best that they can. You get a sense that there's a real tight-knit, especially with Las Vegas, family-oriented feel with this club.
Well, on the Reno side, you know, they go out and grab a player from Swope Park, and Mark Anthony Gonzalez, who was an impressive and important piece to them being a Western Conference champion last year and a USL Cup finalist. He was the Offensive Player of the Year for Swope. Canadian national. And I'm quite certain Reno is looking to him, especially with a guy like Chris Wehan having moved on. We're looking to him, and And maybe some of their other younger talent, guys who, like tonight, are on the 18, such as Lindo Mfeka, Seth Kasipli. I know they are very capable. Mo Chow, a good forward attacking player. And they're going to have to find other ways to score goals when Dane Kelly from last year wasn't putting it in the net. Reno trying to break a 1-1 tie. And it's still alive as the ball rolls out of bounds for a corner kick. But Richards sets it down. And Avik will take it. Lofted high into the box. And Las Vegas dodges a bullet. Alvarez pulled off the ball. Great defense by James Kiffey, who is well regarded across the league. And cracks one up the field. Reno right on the money, diving stop by Ferrigno, and then he hops back on top of it. We were critical of him earlier, but a fabulous goalkeeping effort there keeps us tied at 1.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a better ball all game. Whips it in. Been so difficult for keepers to come out on or save. But Ferrigno, great job. He's risky, so he definitely made a little bit of a risk coming out there, but good save all around.
Reno switches sides of the field as they grab their attack once more. Not much to gather there for Portugal. I beg your pardon, for Calvillo. Arsenkowski back over to the right side. Well, after every home game, join us at Plaza Hotel for the official postgame party at the Plaza featuring your Las Vegas Lights. Show your game ticket tonight, and your first drink is free. Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas. 70th minute. Our goals came in the 27th for Las Vegas, the 28th for Reno. Alvarez. And we have our substitution. Christian Torres coming off for Las Vegas. And Juan Carlos Garcia for Las Vegas Lights will make his way out onto the pitch. 9,019 the announced attendance tonight. First ever home game for Las Vegas Lights, and it's a fabulous game. Ochoa. Actually, beg your pardon, that was Cesar Jaime. Back touched. The shot was ripped off the defense. Griffiths was there and sacrificed his body. Jordan Morel, too. Portugal put a rocket into the defensive line. The back line holds strong.
Well, Alvarez has been fantastic the second half. Creating chances for himself, creating chances for his teammates. Little back heel there to set his teammate up.
Looked like a clear-cut foul. And it's got Cesar Jaime down in some serious pain. They have issued another yellow card. And it's the second yellow card of the game on Danny Mazovsky. So he's being sent off. Here's another look at it.
I didn't really see, didn't look like a yellow card to me. Kind of looked like they just caught boots.
I agree, Mazovsky on the wrong end of a tough decision here.
Especially when you already have a yellow card. I don't know if that's a second yellow card. If it was the first one, potentially, but not enough to be sent off the game.
So,
or out of the game.
Yeah, Reno playing shorthanded now in the final 20 minutes. Not how Mazovsky and 1868 FC have drawn it up, but maybe this will fire up the Las Vegas Lights crowd a bit. Unfortunately for Mazovsky, he gets to take a long walk in front of the heart of the fan section. Now if you're Reno playing on the road, hoping for 1 point, you just don't want to give up a goal. So Reno loses their goal scorer this evening, Danny Mazovsky. Again, an All-American 2 separate times at UNLV. Now let's see what Las Vegas can do here with a one-man advantage.
Well, they definitely have had the better of the play this second half. Now with playing against only 10 men, should start to find some gaps opening up. If you're Reno, though, you don't want to stop attacking, but you need to be mindful about staying in a block defensively, hoping to make it as difficult as possible for Las Vegas. You're exactly right. Getting a point on the road at this point in time with 10 men would be ideal. Unless you can sneak one in for the win.
Yeah, you never know. But given Las Vegas' style, I guess it's not totally out of the question that Reno could quickly counter. It would be hard to mount something. 10v11. If you're Las Vegas, it's time to start teeing off here. Maybe this is feeding right into the narrative they like anyways. Las Vegas has used all 3 of their substitutions, and all of them have come in the midfield. Arsenkowski. So far, Reno responding pretty well to The challenge. Brenton Griffiths having a little fun there with the fans on that side. Nice play. Got a better sliding stop out of bounds. Kaya Ben sends it away. Mendoza rolls it. Cesar Jaime, who's a bit hobbled, touches ahead, and apparently it's too heavy a touch.
Well, with the cards and the fouls recently, we've seen the game kind of slow down a bit. Not as much back and forth, but now's the time for Vegas to step it up, see what they can do. Last 15 minutes or so, get after this Reno team. They're on the first home game. Want to put on a show for the crowd. Now is the time.
Mo Chow on for Brian Brown in the 78th minute. See how that might bolster Reno's attack. Fans livening up a bit. Zach Drake high over the top. Weeki got off to a rough start, but has recovered pretty well as the game has progressed. Mendoza had given Las Vegas an early lead. If you've tuned in and out perhaps throughout the course of the night, it was a wild, chaotic first half. Danny Masovsky scoring the tying goal, and then the UNLV product, obviously playing for Reno, but went to college in Las Vegas, sent off with his second yellow card. He picked up one in the 34th, one in the 73rd. Things not necessarily going to plan, according to plan, I should say, for either team, but it's about trying to adjust mid-game for sure. We hope you'll join us next Saturday as Swope Park Rangers come to town. It's last year's USL Cup finalists at Cashman Field. Kickoff 8 p.m. Visit lightsfc.com/tickets if you'd like to see us live and in person. Las Vegas probably a touch disappointed here at the lack of activity that they've generated with a one-man advantage.
Yeah, now that's what I was saying. Now is the time. You have a little over 10 minutes left. It's time to get after them. Both teams seem to kind of take their foot off the pedal.
Wind seems like it's starting to become more of a factor after dying off for a bit in the second half. Nice touch by Gonzalez. That's a good veteran play. Chip between two defenders, but just ran out of real estate. Ricardo Ferrigno able to knock it out. Well, Chalice has shedded the jacket. Chow. There's a foul in the midfield. No card coming there, and I think that's the right decision. Tough takeaway. Mentioned Mo Chow, he's from the University of Louisville. 4 college seasons, he split them up between Louisville and Cincinnati State. 61 goals in 4 years and 20 assists. Two-time All-American. He was the 2015 Junior College Player of the Year. He's got a pretty good frame, 6'2", but only 178, maybe a little thin. If he could put on some good weight, wonder what kind of vicious presence he could be at an attacking spot as Chow races after this one. But he clearly knows how to finish. 61 goals in 4 years is no joke.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You know, only 23 years old. He's got a lot of development ahead of him.
You just get the sense right now that Vegas doesn't seem to have much urgency in their play. They had much more urgency in the first part of this game, in the first part of this half. It's now they've playing with an extra man, yet you wouldn't know it. Especially for a team that prides themselves on attacking soccer, wanting to go after teams, not afraid to expose themselves in the back.
I agree. It's been a little bizarre as they play it in. Alvarez chips to the backside, and it becomes a goal kick. Do you wonder, is fatigue perhaps to blame?
Absolutely. I think, you know, the wind, I think, played a major factor. That's tiring in itself in this game. Anytime you're running against the wind, anytime you have any sort of inclement weather, that can be challenging, cause fatigue much earlier. But at the same time, the second game of the season, still working the kinks out. I don't think either of these coaches thought they were coming to this game with a set game plan in terms of like, this is how we're, this is the lineup that we're going to do. This is how we're going to play. I think they're still working out the teams, building their team. One thing that we talked about with Vegas earlier in the week was that anybody could play, right? So at this point in time, they're still evaluating players, trying to figure out who their starting 11 could be. But on the flip side of that, if you're looking for players and you're looking to make an impact as a player yourself, then you want to be doing anything you can to get a goal for your team or helping your team get a goal.
Especially in a critical moment. It's go time for both sides. One kind of rolled away from Ferreño, but he keeps it inside the touchline.
And just for bragging rights, right?
Oh,
we
for
keep
sure.
talking about how this is the in-state rivalry, and we're going to be talking about it for years to come.
First edition of the Silver State Cup. Ochoa with a right-footed cross headed into a great area. And the defense comes alive. Well done by Morel. Played back in. Nobody home on the backside. Those are the first two really good chances that Las Vegas has had. Perhaps part of the reason we haven't noticed the difference so much is that it's their player furthest ahead in their formation. Haven't really lost much or had to adjust much defensively when you lose your striker like Wasowski. Cesar Jaime. High floating throw. Right-footed shot from Alvarez blocked. Still alive, headed toward the right post, and it's just wide from Matt Thomas. Ochoa and Thomas right on the doorstep, and they just couldn't quite put it in the net.
Well, all game, Las Vegas has done a good job of keeping second balls alive, whether it's these flick-ons, and this is no exception. Ochoa getting a good header, a good chance on the ball, and knocking it down. Fortunately, it just goes wide. But all of this happens because they're able to keep second balls alive off of that long throw-in.
Persistence almost paid off for Las Vegas Lights. Now the other side, takedown right at the top of the 18. Mendoza tries to start things up the left side. I'm totally with you. It's almost confusing. Las Vegas, for the first time, seems like they have attempted a lot of these possession short passes. Certainly that one over the top, the exception, but they've shared the ball more here since they've been up a man than they did at any point prior to that.
Yeah, and what we're seeing too is Reno kind of sitting back. Obviously, they're playing with 10 men, so they're a little bit more in a defensive posture. But at the same time, then that's when you want to see the urgency from Vegas. That's how you're going to break them down. Short, quick passes, draw them out, then look to go over the top with some of the weighted passes or get wide. And they've had some dangerous crosses all game. So get it wide, draw the defense out, see if you can play some balls over the top, but with a sense of urgency, especially these last 3 to 5 minutes of the game.
Maybe Van Ebeck in the middle, headed down. Oh, it's just past Gonzalez. Alvarez lost it. Well, as we have a substitution coming on, it'll be our final sub for Reno. Zach Carroll. Zach Carroll played for Orlando City B last year. He is coming on. See what kind of boost he could possibly give Reno at the very tail end of this game, and he comes in for Jerry Van Ebeck. Meanwhile, our Laborers local, number 872, presents the hardest working man of the match, and tonight's player is Alex Mendoza, who scored the only goal of the game for the Las Vegas Lights. We'll talk about scoring chances. We nearly had another one there. Extremely late in Las Vegas. Can the veteran Mark Anthony Gonzalez start something? The whistle kills things near midfield. Long weighted cross. It's headed out.
I think that's when you maybe look to play short. Look to play short, get the Reno defense out, have them push up, and then look to play a little weighted ball. And it's pretty predictable, just floating the ball in and everyone going up for a header and hoping that something happens.
5 minutes of stoppage time officially added on. And of course, stoppage time is brought to you by La Bonita, the official grocery store of Las Vegas Lights. So a minimum of 5 minutes added on here at the end of the game. We had lots of injury stoppages throughout tonight's contest, which is just over 2 hours old actual time. Left-footed. Gonzalez kept it in for a minute, and he wins his team a throw. Other games in the West tonight. Real Monarchs with a 3-2 win over Tulsa. San Antonio tops St. Louis 2-1. Swift Park Rangers with a 4-2 win over Seattle Sounders 2. Fresno and LA Galaxy 2 finished in a 1-1 tie. Sacramento, 1-0 win over Orange County. And how about Phoenix rising tonight? 4-1 pounding of OKC Energy. Chris Cortez, a hat trick. And the 4-1 victory for Phoenix. He's got a chance to be Player of the Week. Las Vegas running out of time, but a good chance here. Alvarez. It's a good one. Well, sometimes good opportunities don't always result in the best of outcomes.
Well, this is a good ball in by Alvarez, but I think he should whip it in a little bit harder, so then there just needs to be a little bit of redirection. It's floated in, make it a little bit more difficult for his teammate to be able to get any sort of power on it.
Mo Chow. Yeah, Reno was there. Long ball ahead. This looks a little bit more like vintage Vegas. On the near side, Juan Carlos Garcia was going to throw in. Perhaps just a little gamesmanship. It was a Reno throw all the way. Danny Mazovsky sent off in the 73rd on his second yellow card. The UNLV product scored the only goal of the night for Reno. And Reno has done perhaps an even better job playing down a man than they did at full strength. But it's not over yet. They've still got some work to do, especially defensively here late in this game.
Well, it's not over yet, but you and I were talking earlier, we'd be extremely surprised if this game ended in a 1-1 draw. And here we are.
We'll see. Either way, it's been I think a warm reception for Las Vegas Lights tonight at home. They have clearly put on a good show, and the fans have enjoyed it. More than 9,000 in their first ever home game this evening. A lot of fun planned throughout the course of the year, especially for Las Vegas here at home at Cashman Field. Time is of the essence, and Las Vegas hurries to take a corner. Alvarez. Headed on the backside. It is just over the top of the bar. Save of the night. Marcinkowski may have just kept his team with 1 point this evening. Unbelievable finish to the game as the final whistle blows. What an incredible closing sequence.
Yeah, that's exactly the ball that we were talking about. Whipped in. Garcia rises up above everybody. Great header, knocked down. But Marcinkowski, what a save.
Unbelievable. So Alex Mendoza comes in the 12th minute, scores in the 27th, provides the only Las Vegas goal of the night. But a Lights victory spoiled because Danny Mazovsky, the Las Vegas college product at UNLV, scored less than 60 seconds later, and we end in a 1-1 draw. We'll wrap it up when we come back, just after this. Well, Las Vegas Lights FC was very well received here at home tonight. Reno 1868 FC fans that traveled down to Las Vegas certainly enjoyed their time, and they spoiled the victory with a first half goal immediately answering that from Las Vegas. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights. Alex Mendoza's goal after he had subbed on for Daigo Kobayashi really made for an entertaining several minutes in the first half.
Yeah, Reno getting quite a few good chances here at the beginning. This one just slicing and dicing, low driven ball across the front of the goal. And luckily it's cleared away. Surprising that this game ended in 1-1 with as many chances we had. And here's a look at the goal. Just played out of traffic. Mendoza, the substitute, just coming on, getting a good strike with his laces, low and hard to the far corner.
Yeah, just a perfectly executed shot. And Alex Mendoza flashing the emoji. But less than a minute later, Reno answered. Ryan Brown with his rocket deflects away. And the Las Vegas kid puts it home. So that tied us up at 1 apiece. And at that point, we thought we were in for an offensive shootout. It didn't turn out to be that way. Instead, it was a shootout of yellow cards. We had bookings all over the place tonight.
Reno ended up going down to 10 men. We thought we were going to see a little bit more of a push from Las Vegas. They still got quite a few chances.
I think JT Marcinkowski, as the game wore on, Reno's keeper became more and more and more impressive and important, really. This was probably the best sequence for Ricardo Ferrigno. Two terrific stops here.
Yeah, wonderful ball in. So difficult for a goalkeeper to read. He does a good job and is able to pick up the second putback.
This was a turning point because that was the second yellow card, and it was on Mazovsky, which kind of left him shaking his head. And then all of a sudden it became about close misses for Las Vegas.
Yeah, this was a wonderful corner kick driven ball in. Garcia just rises above everybody, gets a great header on it. But Marcinkowski saves the day. Wonderful save.
It literally would have been a walk-off goal. They blew the full-time whistle immediately upon that save. And so we finish in a 1-1 draw. Reno probably pleased to pick up a point on the road and spoil their in-state rivals' inaugural home opener. Plus, they were playing down a player for 25 minutes. I would say all in all, both teams probably fairly pleased with the result.
Yeah, 19 shots for Vegas, 11 for Reno. You and I thought we were definitely going to see some more goals, but you're exactly right. Finish 1-1, each get a point, and go back to the drawing board and prepare for next week.
Well, the good news is it's a long season and there's a lot of soccer to still be played and things to be worked out for sure. Fun night in Las Vegas. They promised a party and they delivered. Tonight the result on the field was 1-1, but nevertheless everybody that was at Cashman Field tonight certainly enjoyed themselves. For Lori Lindsay and our entire production crew, I'm Brendan Gulick. Good night from Las Vegas, where the first edition of the Silver State Cup ends in a draw. 1-1 your final score.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.